Okay, now let's move to developing natural language processing solutions. The agenda of this particular learning path is we are going to first learn analyzing and translating text. So text analysis is what we are going to do first. Then we are going to build a question answering solution, something like your traditional chatbot, which can give you an answer based on the questions which you're asking in natural language. And then we are going to build a conversational language understanding app. Now, what is the difference between a question answering solution and conversational language understanding app? We'll see that part. And then we are going to create a custom classification and named entity extraction. And after that, we are going to do speech recognition, synthesis, and translation, which is all about how we can use natural language with speech. So let's get started. First, let's focus on analyzing text. After completing this module, you will be able to detect languages and extract key phrases from that. You will also be able to analyze sentiment, and you're going to detect personal identifiable information. You will be able to summarize text, where we have multiple types of summarization, which we are going to try. And then we have extract entities and linked entities, which we are going to focus. We can extract entities from the text which we have provided in natural language input, as well as we can also get links associated with that entity, which will be mostly Wikipedia links. And then we are going to focus on translating text. Now, as we know, Azure AI services are going to be accessible through an API. In this case, when you're going to use Azure AI-Language Service, ultimately you're going to provide a natural language text input, which is going to be sent to your Azure AI service, which is your language service. The language service is going to take that input and is going to detect a specific language in which that input text is written. It's also going to identify the key phrases, like as you can see here, there are some key phrases which are mentioned like the news or New York or something like that. Now, when you're doing this thing, there are a couple of pre-configured features which we can use with that, and key phrase extraction or language detection are just some of them. Other than that, you can also try sentiment analysis, where you can understand whether this mentioned statement is positive, negative, or neutral. You can have name entity recognition, where you can find out the famous places or things like that, where you can identify those entities, and then you can get a proper detail about the entities using entity linking, where you're going to get a Wikipedia link of that. Like you can see here, the entity which we got is Manhattan, and then we got a link which is actually Wikipedia link for what is Manhattan. And then we have a summarization of the text, or we have personal identifiable information detection, which mostly goes with every user's personal information. And then you can identify that, and if you want, you can remove or customize that. You can also have a customizable features which are covered in another section of this particular learning path, so we are going to see that part. Now, how this language detection is going to work. Now, as you can see, language detection is going to determine the language in which that text is written. And we often use this as a precursor to further analysis that requires a known language. So obviously language detection is the first thing. Once we know the language, we'll be able to do further analysis based on that. The left side box is actually showing you an input which we have provided. In our case, we are providing two documents with ID 1 and 2, which is nothing but one array, which is a JSON object. And then inside that, we are specifying that we have a text which is hello world, and we are specifying something, a property with that, which is like country hint is US, which is optional. And then we're also specifying ID2, which is actually having a different language, which is in French. And then in that language, we have bonjour, tout le monde. Now, these two inputs which we have provided here, we are going to get the response from the service, which is visible at the right side. As you can see, it is able to identify the name of that language, which is English. It's also showing you that the confidence score is 100%, which is 1. And then it is actually going to show you some ISO name of that particular language. For English, it is EN, and for French, it is FR when we go to ID number 2. Also, there are chances that sometimes certain words are going to have a meaning associated with multiple languages. At that time, it can impact on confidence score, or it can also show you some kind of warnings associations with that. Same way, if I try to use key phrase extraction, you can see you can identify the main talking points from the text which you are providing. And then it works best with larger documents which can be not more than 5120 characters. Now, left side, we have provided again one JSON object which is having two IDs 1 and 2. The first one is in English, which is a text, "You must be the change you wish to see in the world," which is a famous quote. And same way in the second one also it's English, which is, "The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step." Now these two inputs which we are providing here, we want to understand what kind of key phrases are actually available in that. And when you process that, the response is showing you in the right side that the key phrases in the first statement is change and world, while the key phrase in the second one is actually miles, single step, and journey. And same way, it's also showing you other details like some warnings if it are there, or the model version. Now same way, if we try for sentiment analysis, this is going to score overall document sentiment and individual sentence sentiment also. Sentence sentiment is based on the confidence score for positive, negative, and neutral, while the overall document sentiment is based on sentences. So there are chances that one particular document is having multiple lines and multiple paragraphs inside this, where some of the statements are positive, some are negative, and then some are mixed. Based on that, if majority statements are positive, it's going to give that the overall document is actually positive. Now, as you can see, we are simply providing one line, which is smile, life is good. And then once we provide this as an input, the right side one is showing me that the statement which we are providing here is positive, is also identifying the different words associated with that, and it's very much sure that this particular statement is positive. That's why it is showing you the confidence score for that. It's also showing you the text which is associated with that and the sentence location where the sentence confidence score is actually visible based on the breakdown which they have done for that sentences. Hey guys, sorry for interruption. My name is Maruti and I'm here to make a very important announcement. I hope you are liking our videos and you're doing a continuous learning with us on an Azure Cloud and AI related topics. If you are enjoying this thing, I'm going to announce skilltech.club, which is our upcoming website, which is going to be launched very soon. We are here to tell you one thing, that everyone who is a subscriber of this particular channel will get Azure Cloud and Azure AI related certification courses free of cost in skilltech.club. So you will be a part of the skilltech.club kind of a membership automatically free of cost. And everyone who's a subscriber of this particular channel will get those benefits which are available in that. So what are you waiting for? I request you to please subscribe to this channel and share it with your friends and families if they are also interested in Azure Cloud and AI learning. That's it from my side. Now you can carry on with your learning. Thank you. Next, we have named entity recognition. As we discussed, is going to identify entities that are mentioned in the text. Entities are grouped into categories and subcategories. For example, person, location, date, time, organization, address, email address, or URL. When you provide this thing, like a statement, Joe went to London on Saturday. When you provide this kind of an input, it's showing you that we found a person entity which is Joe. And then we have a location entity which is London. And we also have another entity which is date, time. All these entities which you have extracted should be meaningful, and that's the reason we have to extract it from that. Now, there are chances that you can get some of the entities word which are having more than one meanings associated with that. At that time, after doing entity recognition, you have to do linked entity, and that's what which is coming next. Now, let's assume that we are using to understand the differences between the entities which are having same name. For example, we have a word Venus. Now, Venus is a word for a planet also, as well as it can be a word which can be used for a goddess. Now, when we are using this thing, which is the correct meaning of that word? To understand that, we need to use linked entity, which is going to show you a Wikipedia link associated with that particular entity. As you can see here in this example, if we have a specific article which is having a statement like this, I saw Venus shining in the sky. Obviously, they're talking about the planet Venus because it's shining in the sky. And then when we talk about Venus, the goddess of beauty, we are talking about the other Venus, which is a goddess. And that's the reason this is something which is having a connection with mythology, and we are going to have a different Wikipedia link associated with that. These links are going to give you the exact meaning of that word and what exactly they're talking about in that. Finally, we have summarization. Now, most of the time, summarization will be used with multiple lines of paragraphs, and then we want to make sure that we get the summarization of the text, something like a moral of the story. But in this case also, we have two different types of summarization: extractive summarization and abstractive summarization. The extractive summarization is going to produce a summary by using the most important sentences. And it is actually going to pick some of the most important sentences from the paragraph, and they are going to use the sentences exactly same as it is. While on the other hand, abstractive summarization produces a summary capturing the main idea behind the text. And it's not necessarily going to use the same words as the source document. It's something like you are going to hear a story, and then you're going to create a moral of the story kind of a thing with a different kind of a words. And that is what abstractive summarization is going to be doing. This can be customized by training on your own data, or you can also provide your kind of customizations with that. The boxes are showing you that we have provided one long paragraph about Microsoft and technology, and when we are doing this, we are mentioning in the kind property that we want extractive summarization. When we do this, it's actually going to use some of the most useful important sentences from that in the summarization, and that's exactly which is happening in the right side, which is a response. Now, to get understanding of this summarization and other things which we have discussed so far, we are going to see the demos associated with natural language services, and we also have a couple of labs. So at that time, you'll understand this thing in much better way. Last but not the least, we have PII, personally identifiable information. When we have a lot of textual content and we want to detect and remove sensitive information, which can be something like a person's detail like phone number, email address, credit card, or some financial account or identification numbers. In this kind of cases, you can use PII detection mechanism and then you can remove it. It can be also used in situations like applying sensitivity labels, removing information to reduce bias, and clean data for data science. So you want to make sure that your data which you're going to provide into your model training should not be biased. And at that time, you want to remove this kind of PII information before providing the data into your machine learning model. Now we have an example here where the left side block, which is input, is showing you a text which is having text like call our office at this number or send email to this particular email ID. And when we provide this input, you can see the response, which is right side available, is showing you that the text which they have detected is this. And then in that, they have find out two different things. First one is a phone number, second one is an email ID. They're also showing you the offset, the length, and the confidence score associated with each PII which is detected. We'll get to know about this more when we try to see this thing in the demo and labs. So the next thing is we have to do one exercise, which is analyzing text. But before that, let's see some of the demos from the Natural Language Studio, and then we are going to try analyzing text using this kind of text analysis.